after last year, Toronto has always been one of those, Slumdog really kind of blew over there. And so after a film like that, you had so much opportunity, I'm assuming, to shoot anything you wanted to. But yet, I love the fact that you chose a film that's very intimate and it was extremely kind of almost personal. So I'm just wondering why a choice like this as opposed to X-Men 10, like one of those, which you could have easily been offered, which I'm...
Well, I mean, people normally go two ways after that kind of success. You make a massive film, cash in, or you make what the studio refer to tuttingly as a vanity project, which they think nobody's ever going to kind of see, and it'll be unwatchable and unbearable and all those kind of things. But and I suppose this probably looked like that to them because I couldn't seem to convince people about how dynamic I knew it would be and how compulsive it would be to watch. But that's what I'd found in the story. And it's interesting actually, Simon, the screenwriter, and I, we were talking the other day about, it's curious, it's probably one of our most personal films we've ever been involved with. Even though it's obviously about a very prescriptive event and it has to be very accurate, you can't give him any extra equipment, you can't change the location, everything's exactly what Aaron went through. And yet for us, the story of a guy who has to come to terms with the fact that his individualism, his selfishness if you like, his arrogance, is going to be of no value to him in this lonely place. It's the people that he's fled from and the people that he would love to reconnect with that will actually pull him through it. And that is something that we've learnt over years have taught us that. And he learns it in 127 hours. So it's a remarkable story when you focus on it like that. And that's the essence of the story, although it's not sometimes perceived like that. It's sometimes perceived as a superhero story. But it's actually, he goes there as a superhero. He's one of these achievers. He's 27, supremely fit, very bright guy, turned his back on Intel engineering, didn't want to do it, big bright career there, didn't want to do that, just wanted to go out into the wilderness. And so it's when he's stopped by nature that he has to call upon other resources other than his physicality to get him out of there. And those are what we wanted to concentrate on in the personal sense of the movie and making an emotional journey as well as in a remarkable physical journey he goes through.
I have to ask, because James when you watch the film, of course it's him, but yet it was almost like a surprise casting, So was it difficult for you to kind of pinpoint him as Aaron, or did it take convincing on his part to be like, I'm the right person for this job? Or did you have him in mind when you kind of wanted to make this film?
Didn't have him in mind, no, because he's not a lookalike. He's not an obvious choice, like you say. He's not a lookalike. He's very urban. His appeal is very urban, generally. But then I'd always seen it as an urban film. There's a wilderness context to it, certainly at the beginning especially. Once he's trapped, you can't see anything. You could be anywhere, really. You could be on top of a building that's been locked out for a week. Everybody's gone on holiday for a week. But I remember seeing Pineapple Express, and it made me change in the way I viewed him as an actor. And it often does when they can handle big comedy like that. You think, yeah, that's a serious actor. Because comedy has to be believable. And those skills that he brings to the more moodier roles, the more naturalistic roles, if you like, he transfers those skills to another tone. That tells you that's a serious actor in there. And when we saw about 6, 10 guys, and then when he read for us, you could tell it was going to be him. I felt very sure as soon as I heard him read. And I've got a lot going for him if he wants it. I don't know whether he wants it or not, deep down. He likes to spread himself. I don't know whether he wants that leading man kind of thing, but he's got it if he wants it, if he wants to pursue it, for sure. And I think it's surprising how much he's growing as an actor at the moment. He seems to be able to handle virtually anything at the moment. And that's a wonderful thing for America to have a leading man like that.
I heard that when you screened this in Toronto and Aaron had seen this film for the first time, there were moments where he was kind of, I don't know, were you sitting next to him during this period? Because I heard that he was actually sobbing during certain periods and stuff like that. So was it interesting, or were you kind of scared to show him? You know what I mean? It's like it must be so meta for him to just kind of like watch this whole thing like kind of unfold and to sit next to him while that happens.
You can get him to talk about it and ask him about it, and of course I have done, but whether you can get him to truly express what it feels like to see it reenacted in the real place, because it's basically the real place. And he's got the same gear on and the same equipment. Everything's a copy of what he had. I don't know what he must go through seeing that. But he becomes very emotionally involved in it. And I think it's distressing for him to see in one sense. I think it's also cathartic, for him to push through it again, through an actor. And I think also it's wonderful for him to, he's always shared the story since he came out, both in the book, which is obvious, but he does these motivational speaking engagements for charity and for, you know, employment for himself. So he's always been one to share, and and I think that essence of the story, which is that it's about people, although it's very lonely, it's actually about people. The instinct to share it with people, either on his tours or at Toronto, and now hopefully in the cinemas when it opens, is key to it as well. And that's a good thing to share it, because it's stuff you take a lifetime to learn, and he learnt it in 127 hours, you know. So he feels there is a value to sharing it with people, and it's a very emotional experience for him.